we had the Roman Empire for 800 years. It established itself with short swords and those large red shields. But I think it did very well to kind of occupy itself in much of Europe. It did it in quite a relatively small space of time, and I think that it was quite successful, primarily because it had an interest in kind of a popular government. That's why it was successful, but it established itself. But I think it had issues with violence and perhaps aggression. I think that we had an issue of pirate attacks with the Roman Empire, and I think that's why we had some kind of inculcation or nature characteristic of piracy in the Roman Empire. They seem to be interested in barbarians, and I think that the fall of the Roman Empire involved an incursion of a large number of barbarian invasions. I think we had the Visigoths and the Gauls and Germania tribes, and I think we had I think about 20 barbarian invasions of the Roman Empire, and that's the fall of the Roman Empire. But I think that the Romans kind of gave in to this invasion of barbarian invasions. I feel that they kind of succumbed to the neglect of violence and the number of volume of barbarian invasions. I think that they could have conquered Germany or Germania, and I think that would have kind of completed or consolidated their empire in Europe. But I think they failed to do that, and I think that they had some kind of a tendency of piracy in their nature and characteristic, so they kind of invited barbarian invasions into the Roman Empire. And I think that it looks like something like the gladiator combat fights in the Colosseum. I think that's what barbarian invasions look like, kind of like the gladiator fights in the Colosseum. I think that the Roman emperors preempted these barbarian invasions with these gladiator fights in the Colosseum, and they kind of look like those gladiator masks with one-eyed tears, those kind of silver masks with one-eyed tears. I think if you look at the horrific nature of barbarian invasions, they kind of look like the costumes of the gladiators in those Colosseums. That's how those barbarian invasions look like, and they do look quite horrific. So I think that's what the Roman Empire had to deal with, a horrific nature of barbarian invasions like those gladiator fights in the Colosseum. They seem to be composed of very steadfast but tearful and shocking and very menacing demeanour and virtue. I think gladiators kind of encompass barbarian invasions of the Roman Empire. So I think that we do have a condition with the Roman Empire where we have suffered barbarian invasions, quite a few of them, and it's kind of repopulated Europe. It's introduced a different genetic makeup and DNA. It's kind of introduced barbarian women into European society, and barbarian people who live in barbarian houses. They look like terrace, colourful houses. They do barbarian shelters and accommodation, but they have barbarian feelings and maybe dull feelings. I think that's why barbarian women carry small flowers as a gift of barbarian nature. So I think that Europeans are very barbarian in their culture. They have barbarian DNA. I think this can be checked, and it is in public information. So I think that the culture of Europe is in fact cultivated and founded by the barbarian invasions of the Roman Empire, and I think they are very encompassed with their barbarian kind of environment. I think that most of the European people are barbarian invasions and barbarian people. We have the Germans, who are very tall and have tall arms as well, long arms. We have the French, who have perhaps their own barbarian characteristics in their physical makeup. We have the Spanish as well, who look very barbarian as well. And we have the Italians, who look very barbarian. We have the Hungarians, who also look very peculiarly barbarian. And we have most of Europe, who are, in fact, I think, quite barbarian in their genetic makeup and DNA. Thank you.